Good evening and welcome to our Glendale City Council meeting. If you would like to comment on any item that's on the agenda, please fill out a gold speaker card and hand it to the police officer in the back of the room. The mayor will call your name, and when it's your turn to speak, you can make your way to the podium. All speakers have 3 minutes. If you would like to talk about a topic that's not on the agenda, please complete a blue speaker card and give it to the officer in the back of the room. Items that are not on the agenda are heard at the end of the voting meeting. Glendale has 7 city council members: Mayor Jerry Wires, Vice Mayor Ian Hugh of the Cactus District, Councilmember Joyce Clark of the Yucca District, Councilmember Leandro Baldenegro of the Ocotillo District, Councilmember Bart Turner of the Barrow District, Councilmember Ray Malnar of the Saguaro District, and Councilmember Lauren Tolmachoff of the Cholla District. This meeting is streaming live on Glendale's Facebook and YouTube pages and the city's cable television station, Glendale Channel 11. Thank you for joining us.
And good evening. Welcome to Glendale City Council meeting of October 22nd, 2024. This meeting is called to order. I'm not going to call roll call because everybody's here, if you'd take note of that. The next 2 items on our agenda are the invocation and our Pledge of Allegiance. Today's invocation is going to be delivered by Mojan Elston of Baha'is Glendale Local Spiritual Assembly. And for the prayer, gentlemen, if you're wearing hats, if it's appropriate, if you'd remove them. With that, if everyone please stand for our prayer, and then we'll follow that with the Pledge of Allegiance.
O my God, verily I invoke thee and supplicate before thy threshold, asking thee that all thy mercies may descend upon these souls. Specialize them for thy favor and thy truth. O Lord, unite and bind together the hearts, join in accord all the souls, and exhilarate the spirits through the signs of thy sanctity and oneness. O Lord, make these faces radiant through the light of thy oneness. Strengthen the loins of thy servants in the service of thy kingdom. O Lord, thou possessor of infinite mercy, O Lord of forgiveness and pardon, forgive our sins, pardon our shortcomings, and cause us to turn to the kingdom of thy clemency. Invoking the kingdom of might and power, humble at thy shrine and submissive before the glory of thine evidences. O Lord God, make us as waves of the sea, as flowers of the garden, united, agreed through the bounties of thy love. O Lord, dilate the breast through the signs of thy oneness, and make all mankind as stars shining from the same height of glory, as perfect fruits growing upon thy tree of life. Verily, thou art the mighty, the self-subsistent, the giver, the forgiving, the pardoner, the omniscient, the one creator. Abdul Baha.
All right. Please join me in a pledge of allegiance to our country. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Have your seats. Okay. All right. Next on the agenda is the consideration of the minutes from the October 8th, 2024 voting meeting. Council members, have you any corrections or additions to the minutes? Seeing none, can I get a motion, please?
Yes, Mayor. I move we approve the minutes of the October 8th, 2024 voting meeting.
Second.
I have a motion from the Vice Mayor, second Councilmember Clark, to approve the minutes. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Appears the ayes have it, do have it. That motion passes. Proclamations and awards. I'll come up to the podium, and we're going to be doing a proclamation proclaiming October 22nd, 2024 as Latino Heritage and Empowerment Day. Accepting the proclamation will be Roman Campuzano. Did I say that right? I hope. With that, I'll go ahead and come up to the podium, and then if you and your folks can meet me at the podium, that'd be awesome. Okay, so this proclamation is going to have some words in it that I'm going to pronounce wrong, so forgive me, okay? I'll do the best I can. Whereas the city of Glendale, Arizona is proud to honor and celebrate the rich cultural heritage and contributions of the Latino community during Hispanic Heritage Month, and whereas Latinos have made significant contributions in areas of business, culture, public service, and civic leadership, and continue to shape the future of our community, and whereas organizations like Conserva Mi Voto, is that right, are dedicated to empowering the Latino community through civic engagement, promoting family values, supporting our veterans, and ensuring that every voice is heard in our democratic process. And whereas Conserva Mi Voto plays a critical role in fostering civic participation, encourage voter registration, providing leadership opportunities to the Latino community while also supporting Latino-owned businesses and military veterans facing challenges such as homelessness and reintegration. Whereas the city of Glendale, Arizona joins communities across the nation in recognizing Hispanic Heritage Month and the vital contributions of Latinos to our economic, social, and political landscape. Now therefore, I, Jerry P. Wires, Mayor of the city of Glendale, Arizona, on behalf of our city council, do hereby proclaim October 22nd, 2024 as Latino Heritage and Empowerment Day, and recognize Conserva Mi Voto for its dedicated service to the Latino community, its tireless efforts to promote civic participation, family values, and veteran support. Be it further resolved, I encourage all residents to support Latino-owned businesses, honor Latino veterans, and engage in the civic process to strengthen our community and uphold the values that unite us. That was signed by myself and our clerk. I'm going to give this to you, sir, and then offer you an opportunity to speak.
Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you. My name is Adam Encinas, and I'm here with the Conserva Mi Voto family, and we are just so happy that you guys are honoring us today with this proclamation. Myself, I am a young Latino who has just been educated about the things that I didn't know, and I'm passionate about it right now because I want to be able to empower other men like myself who are growing up in Glendale and they need the education. So you heard the core values that we stand on. We are a family, tight-knit, and we just want to get together with Glendale and make this happen.
Okay, moving on to consent agenda. Consent agenda items 3 through 27 has been routine, on the agenda are routine in nature, and they've been previously studied by this council at a workshop session. The items are intended to be acted upon in one motion by this council. Have we any speaker cards other than number 10? Number 10, okay. So I'm gonna ask, Susan Johnson, if you would come up. You'll have 3 minutes. What I need you to do is state your name, what district you live in, if it's in the city of Glendale, if not, the city that you live in. Brent, you'll pull that microphone down for her? No? There you go, just like that. And you have 3 minutes.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Susan Lenore Johnson. I am actually a non-documented princess. I have not got that far. I'm very passionate about Glendale. I actually am homeless right now, but I work tirelessly throughout the day to help the police department. And right now my passion is for water, for the homeless and other people who come here to visit. I believe shop local, and I believe in the guest bus, how it goes throughout the various districts. I live in the blue section on your maps, which is the Yucca district. I am actually having a mailing address with the AZJC. It has moved down towards past the freeway, I'm sorry, the actual train tracks. There is a gang activity here, and so you should know, as people of your stature, there are certain levels in this world that don't understand it, but someday my goal would be to be on the board.
Okay.
I am a
okay,
Johnson, and I believe in the water.
I need
that
you to hold on just a
Yes,
sec.
sir.
You
Yes,
put down
President.
that you wanted to speak on item number 10. I
Item
need
number
you
10
to
is
address item
Sunland.
number
Okay,
10.
I can go to number 10. I was thinking on 2, I apologize. Item number 10, where it says authorization to enter into a job order master contract with Sunland Asphalt and Construction LLC for pavement preservation services. I believe that engineering is very important in the city, and that when you are walking on the pavement, it should be level. There are people who are handicapped and have those kinds of strollers, and when they go, they could trip and fall, so that should be taken care of, and I believe that is something that we should support financially, and that is what I have to say.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, can I get a motion to, we already had that. Motion
No, we
to approve
haven't yet.
items 3 through 27.
Yeah, I'd like to make that motion.
Go ahead.
I move that we approve consent agenda items number 3 through 27.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion from Councilmember Melner, a second from Councilmember Tomasoff to approve consent agenda items 3 through 27. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Here's the ayes have it, do have it, that motion carries. Ms. Bauer, would you read consent resolution items number 28 through 38?
Item number 28, resolution number R24-103, a resolution of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, authorizing and directing the entering into of Amendment number 6 to the intergovernmental agreement between Maricopa County, administered by its Human Services Department, and City of Glendale concerning the Home Investment Partnership Program. Item 29, resolution number R24-104, a resolution of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, authorizing and directing the entering into of a development agreement with the Base Phase 1 owner, LLC, a Delaware limited liability company. Item 30, resolution number R24-105, a resolution of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, authorizing the city manager to execute and accept a property use license from Salt River Project Agricultural Improvement and Power District for intersections located at 91st Avenue and Maryland Avenue and 91st Avenue and Ocotillo Road. Item 31, resolution number R24-106, a resolution of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, authorizing and directing the acquisition of an irrevocable drainage easement at 4501 West Missouri Avenue, Glendale, Arizona, 85301, and directing the execution of any documents necessary to complete said acquisition. Item 32, resolution number R24-107, a resolution of the Council of the City, $707 for the Glendale Police Department Victim Assistance Crisis Intervention After Hours Project. Item 35, resolution number R24-110, a resolution of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, authorizing and directing the entering into of a highway safety grant agreement, contract number 2025-405D-016, with the Arizona's Governor's Office of Highway Safety, and authorizing the acceptance and expenditure of the grant award in the approximate amount of $76,179 for personnel services, employee-related expenses, and materials and supplies for the Glendale Police Department to enhance DUI, impaired driving enforcement throughout the city of Glendale. Item 36, resolution number R 24-111, a resolution of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, authorizing and directing the entering into a sub-grant award agreement number 2024-240 with the Arizona Department of Public Safety, authorizing the acceptance and expenditure of the Victims of Crime Act Victim Assistance Grant Program Award in the approximate amount of $185,372 and approving matching funds in the amount of $46,343 for the Glendale Police Department Victim Assistance Crisis Intervention After Hours Project. Item 37, resolution number R 24-112, a resolution of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, authorizing and directing the entering into of a highway safety grant agreement, contract number 2025 PTS 026 with the Arizona Governor's Office of Highway Safety, and authorizing the acceptance and expenditure of the grant award in the approximate amount of $55,418 for personnel, services, expenses, materials, and supplies for the Glendale Police Department to enhance step enforcement throughout the city of Glendale. Item 38, resolution number R 24-113, a resolution of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, authorizing and directing the entering into of an intergovernmental agreement with the City of Phoenix for sewer transportation and treatment service in the vicinity of 67th Avenue and Pinnacle Peak Road. That concludes the consent resolutions.
And no speaker cards.
No speaker cards.
Good. Can I have a motion to approve consent resolutions items 28 through 38?
Mayor, I move to approve agenda items number 28 through 38.
Second.
I have a motion from Councilmember Baldenegro. Who made the second? Councilmember Tomachov? Okay. And a second from Councilmember Tomachov to approve consent resolutions items 28 through 38. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed say nay. Here's the ayes have it. The motion carries. Moving on to bids and contracts. Ms. Bauer, would you read item number 39 by title?
Authorization to enter into linking agreement with SHI International Corp. There are no speaker cards.
Thank you. Any questions from the council? Hearing none, can I get a motion to approve item 39?
Yes, Mayor, I move we enter into the linking agreement with SHI International Corporation.
Second.
I have a motion from Councilmember Tomachov, second from the Vice Mayor to approve the recommended action. Any discussion on this motion? Hearing none. Councilmember Baldenegro, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Clark, how do you vote?
Mayor, I will explain my vote
Go ahead.
on this bid and the following one as well. They are 5-year contracts. They do not provide for continuity of oversight by City Council when City Council terms are only 4 years long. Under that scenario, I vote nay.
Councilmember Melner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomachov, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Turner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. That motion carries. Ms. Bauer, would you introduce item 40?
Award of IFB 25-11 and authorization to enter into an agreement with San Diego Police Equipment Company, Inc. for ammunition for the Glendale Police Department. There are no speaker cards.
Okay, any questions from the council? Hearing none. Can I get a motion to approve item number 40?
I move we award IFB 25-11 and authorize the city manager to enter into the described agreement.
Second.
I have a motion from Councilmember Turner, second from Councilmember Tomachov to approve the recommended action. Is there any discussion on this motion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Councilmember Baldenegro, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Clark, how do you vote?
Nay.
Councilmember Melner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomachov, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Turner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. That motion carries. Ms. Bauer, would you introduce item 41, please?
Ordinance number O 24-38, an ordinance of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, amending the 75th and Glendale Retail Center planned area development for 7.46 acres located at the southeast corner of 75th Avenue and Glendale Avenue, amending the zoning map, providing for an effective date, and ordering that a certified copy of the ordinance is recorded. Public hearing required, continued from September 24th, 2024.
Okay, the public hearing is now open on item number 41. Ms. Perry.
Thank you. Mayor and Council, as stated, this item was tabled from the September 24th City Council public hearing meeting, as the applicant was directed to reach out to council members regarding the request and to provide an updated letter of support from the abutting Shadow Run HOA community. The applicant received a support letter from the HOA president dated October the 11th, and a copy of the letter was placed on the dais for your review. The applicant is requesting to amend the existing PAD, mandating an 8-foot wall between the proposed commercial development and the existing single-family residential subdivision. As an alternative, the applicant developer is proposing an amendment to allow for enhanced landscaping with additional mature trees along the east and south property lines and increasing the required 8-foot tall loading dock wall to 10 feet tall located south of the Goodwill development. The approximately 8-acre site is located near the southeast corner of 75th and Glendale Avenues and is approximately 2 miles from City Hall. The subject property was zoned to PAD in 2021. This zoning district allows for various land uses to include uses that otherwise may have required a conditional use permit approval. The surrounding zoning districts comprises of commercial and residential zoning districts. The area photograph depicts the subject site surrounded by residential uses to the east, south, and west across 75th Avenue, and commercial uses north of Glendale Avenue and immediately west of the subject site. The overall development is in compliance with the existing PAD relative to land uses, access points, signage, and landscaping. The applicant made every reasonable effort to comply with the 8-foot wall requirement, but faced various challenges, such as no responses from property owners, which will require cooperation of 20 property owners as the construction would temporarily impact their livelihoods. The HOA was not acceptable to increasing the existing 6-foot wall out of concerns of the impact of the existing 22-year-old existing wall, and found the additional landscaping proposal to be acceptable. Structurally, the existing wall could not support an additional 2 feet of block. The applicant explored constructing an 8-foot wall parallel to the existing 6-foot wall. However, a newly constructed wall would create a 24-inch gap between the two walls due to an existing footing encroaching onto the commercial property side. In addition, the 24-inch gap would also create a hardship to provide a cap between the two walls. After working with a structural and acoustical engineer, the applicant was advised the best alternative would be to increase the loading dock wall by 2 feet, which would be from 8 feet to 10 feet, and provide enhanced mature landscaping. For context purpose, before you are a few pictures. This picture is looking along the east property line. As you can see, there's also a 25-foot wide landscaping buffer. This picture is looking along the south property line of the proposed site. The existing wall currently is at 6 feet 3 inches due to the finished grade being elevated. And the wall is depicting the current 8-foot loading wall, in which the applicant is proposing to increase it to 10 feet. The landscaping plan in yellow depicts what the applicant is required to provide for landscaping in the existing PAD. The area in red is showing the enhanced landscaping that is being proposed with mature trees.
Both measures will mitigate noise concerns into the residential development, which meets the intent of constructing an 8-foot wall between residential and non-residential land uses. During the citizen participation process and at the Planning Commission public hearing, no oppositions were received. Mayor and council staff believes the applicant went beyond to comply with the existing 8-foot wall requirement and provided an acceptable alternative, which aligns with the recommendation of approval from Planning Commission on September the 26th. This concludes the presentation with a request for council to make a motion and vote on ordinance O24-38 with 3 stipulations as noted in the ordinance.
Okay. We have any questions from the council? Okay, Mr. Baldonegro, would you like to speak on this?
Yes, I would. I spoke with the developer about this specific issue, and he was a little kind of confused at how it got to this point. He thought everything was going to be fine. I think part of the conversation we had that evening was that it was misunderstood that this particular development is in my district. And so the gentleman contacted me. After listening to him and through emails and everything they've done, where they contacted the houses, they contacted the actual homeowners and sent them physical mail. Some of these houses are being rented, so they contacted the homeowners at the correct address, and the very few responses they got back were, "We trust what the homeowner association says. Everything seems to be fine. We'll be okay with it." Other than that, there was no response. They went back again and did it again. Knocked on doors, and they had HOA meetings, more than one. It seems to me that they've done their due diligence to reach out to all the homeowners. They are increasing, or excuse me, they're proposing to increase the loading dock wall from 8 foot to 10 foot. They've added a bunch more trees to that back of the, against the 2 walls. And there is no driveway around the back of the building for if anybody's concerned about extra traffic and extra vandalism, extra people that shouldn't be back there. There is no driveway back there. One of the concerns that came up through conversations was that, kids are going to be kids and they're going to jump over the fence and they're going to do, look for stuff. And if that was a situation that needed to be concerned, I'm pretty sure that all these houses homeowners would have spoke up about that. I don't believe it's an issue now. I'm not concerned that it would be an issue later, in my opinion. I believe everything would be in place, that they've done their due diligence, again, more than once, to make sure that the homeowners or the renters are fine with it, and it seems to be everyone's on board.
Thank you. Councilmember Tomachow.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I just want to thank the developer. I think and I did speak to the developer as well, and I think the council was generally okay with it. My concern was the letter from the HOA was from 2 years ago, and HOA boards turn over, and so I wanted to make sure that the support was still there for the HOA board, and they kindly provided an updated letter, and I really appreciate the extra effort that they put into making us comfortable with making the decision, so thank you.
Anyone else? No? Okay. Anything else from you?
No, Mayor.
Okay. Can I go ahead and get a motion?
Yes, Mayor. I move we pass and adopt ordinance number 024-38.
Second.
Okay. Do we need to close the public hearing on this?
Yes, Mayor.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and close the public meeting, and we have our motion from Councilmember Clark, a second from Councilmember Tomachow to approve the recommended action. Roll call vote. Councilmember Baldonegro, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Clark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Melner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomachow, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Turner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote?
Aye.
I'm going to explain my vote. I'm going to vote to approve, but I do want to point out that my biggest fear, once these homes, this business is all set up and things are happening, I think that there's going to be a problem down the road where you have people jumping fences. And at that point, I do believe at this point that everybody has done everything they can to try to address that. If it happens down the road, it won't be for the fact that I was concerned about that, but at the same time, what else do we do? I mean, the HOA, I think, has done their due diligence, and the best we can hope for is my concerns are not a concern, and it's not an issue. But with that, I'm going to vote yes, which makes us unanimous with the entire board commission. So with that, item number 42, Ms. Bauer.
Ordinance number O-24-39, an ordinance of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, extending and increasing the corporate limits of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, State of Arizona, pursuant to the provisions of Title IX, Chapter 4, Section 9-471, Arizona Revised Statutes, and its amendments by annexing certain territories located at the southeast corner of Ocotillo Road and Alsop Avenue in the City of Glendale, consisting of approximately 9 acres to be known as Annexation Area Number 261, amending the zoning map, providing for an effective date, and ordering that a certified copy of the ordinance is recorded. Public hearing required.
Public hearing is now open on item number 42.
Thank you, Mayor. This is an annexation request to incorporate approximately 9 acres into the city's boundaries for future development. The subject property is located at the southeast corner of Ocotillo Road and Alsop Avenue. The property is currently in the county with a zoning classification of RU43, which is rural residential. Upon the annexation, the city would apply the most compatible light zoning, which would be RR45, which also allows for rural residential development. The subject property is located within Luke Air Force Base Noise Contour Area 75 and 80 LDN. The applicant submitted a rezoning application, which will be presented next on the agenda. Water and sewer will be provided by private entities, and Alsop Avenue will be controlled and maintained by McDOT. Here is an annexation map just to give context to the subject property as it surrounds other properties within the city limits. Here is an aerial map just to give you greater context of the subject area. A public hearing was held on the blank petition at the August 13th City Council meeting, in which one person spoke expressing concerns with additional industrial land uses impacts on the surrounding neighborhood. The request complies with the city's annexation policy and supports future employment opportunities. This concludes the presentation with the request for council to make a motion and vote on ordinance O24-39.
Okay, any questions?
Thank you, Mayor. Ms. Perry, so I don't know what's going on with the internet. Is this a remnant parcel to the 156 acre parcel in the next action?
Mayor, council, that is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. No other questions? We can go ahead and close our public hearing. Yes?
Yes, Mayor.
Public hearing is now closed. Can I get a motion on item number 42?
Yes, Mayor. I move we pass and adopt ordinance number 024-39.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilmember Clark, a second from Councilmember Turner, I think it was. Was you? Okay, the Vice Mayor, okay. With that said, we'll go ahead and conduct a roll call vote, starting with Councilmember Baldenegro. How do you vote, sir?
Aye.
Councilmember Clark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Milner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomachoff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Turner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote?
Aye.
The chair votes aye. The motion carries. Ms. Bauer, would you introduce item 4.3, please?
Ordinance number O-24-40, an ordinance of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, rezoning 158.6 acres located at the southeast corner of Ocotillo Road and Alsop Avenue from RR 45, Rural Residence 45, and PAD Planned Area Development to PAD Planned Area Development for a development plan entitled CRO 303 AZ, amending the zoning map, providing for an effective date, and ordering that a certified copy of the ordinance is recorded, public hearing required.
Okay, public hearing is now open on item number 4.3. Questions? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Mayor and Council, this is the companion rezoning application to the previously presented annexation request. The applicant is requesting to rezone the subject area from the initial city-like zoning of RR45 to planned area development. The zoning proposal would amend the existing Crow 303 PAD approved by council in 2021 by incorporating the approximately 9 acres as part of the existing entitlements. Again, the subject property is approximately 12 miles from City Hall and located at the southeast corner of Alsop Avenue and Ocotillo Road. Went too fast, sorry there. The subject area will allow for industrial and commercial land uses that are compatible with Luke Air Force Base and the surrounding areas, and is not detrimental to the residential uses in the area. The subject area will be subject to the development standards of the existing Crow 303 PAD. As an example, the PAD has a maximum height of 55 feet with some exceptions. Currently, the applicant is proposing to use the 9 acres for truck and trailer parking. The zoning map reflects the subject area is surrounded by various PAD zoning districts within the city limits. The development will adhere to the landscaping and screening as regulated in the Unified Development Code, which requires an 8-foot wall and a minimum of 15-foot wide landscape buffer. The slide before you depicts the area in yellow of the subject site and how it would be incorporated with the existing Crow 303 PAD. Here's another conceptual plan to kind of give council, refresh council's memory of the Crow 303 PAD. This concludes the presentation with a request for council to make a motion and vote on ordinance 024-40 with 11 stipulations. That concludes the presentation.
Okay,
Mayor.
I didn't know if you were going to read the stipulations or not. Okay. With that said, go ahead and close the public hearing. Public hearing closed. Can I get a motion on item number 43?
Mayor,
Go ahead, sir.
I move that we approve ordinance 024-40 as presented.
Second.
I have a motion from Councilmember Melner, a second from Councilmember Clark to approve the recommended action. Roll call vote. Councilmember Baldenegro, how do you vote, sir?
Aye.
Councilmember Clark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Melner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomachoff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Turner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. The motion carries. Ms. Bauer, would you introduce item 4.4?
Ordinance number 024-41, an ordinance of the council of the city of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, amending the zoning ordinance of the city of Glendale, Arizona by approving zoning text amendment ZTA 24-01, amending the Unified Development Code as follows. Chapter 35, Unified Development Code, Article 6, Administration and Procedures, Section 3.6.209, Variances and Appeals, providing for severability, setting forth an effective date, and ordering that a certified copy of the ordinance is recorded. Public hearing required.
Public hearing is now open on item number 44. Questions from the council? Anyone? Okay. You have anything to add?
Mayor, council, no, if you don't need a presentation.
Okay, we have no questions for it as of the appearance, so with that, the public hearing is now closed on item 44. Can I get a motion?
Mayor,
Go ahead.
I move to approve ordinance number 024-41.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion from Councilmember Baldenegro, a second from Councilmember Clark to approve the recommended action. Roll call vote. Mr. Baldenegro, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Clark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Melner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomachoff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Turner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, that motion carries. Ms. Bauer, would you introduce 4-5, please?
Ordinance number O-24-42, an ordinance of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, amending the Unified Development Code of the City of Glendale, Arizona by approving zoning text amendment ZTA 24-02 for enforcement and penalties, amending the Unified Development Code as follows. Chapter 35, Unified Development Code, Article 7, Compliance and Nonconformities, Section 35.7.002, Enforcement and Penalties, providing for severability, setting forth an effective date, and ordering that a certified copy of the ordinance is recorded. Public hearing required.
Public hearing is now open on item number 45.
Mayor and Council, I will do the presentation without using the PowerPoint. I guess because in essence, it's just one slide. But Mayor and Council, this is a zoning text amendment requesting to amend section 35.7.002, subsection B, enforcement and penalties of the Unified Development Code. Under the 1993 zoning ordinance, when property owners failed to comply with the zoning regulations, code compliance issued a civil citation and/or pursued criminal prosecution. The current UDC requires criminal prosecution only, which is a more severe penalty and a higher burden of proof for staff. The text amendment before you will amend the UDC to allow civil citation and/or criminal prosecution. In addition, the amendment will align the UDC to be consistent with how other city codes are enforced. This text amendment was initiated by the Planning Commission. There were no concerns expressed with the draft text amendment through the citizen participation process, and the Planning Commission recommended approval to City Council on September the 26th. This concludes the presentation with the request for council to make a motion and vote on ordinance number 024-42.
Okay, any questions? Hearing none. Public hearing is now closed on item number 45. Can I get a motion, please?
Yes, Mayor, I move we adopt ordinance number O-24-42.
Second.
A motion from Councilmember Tomachoff, second from Councilmember Clark to approve the recommended action. Roll call vote. Mr. Baldenegro, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Clark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Melner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Tomachoff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Turner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion carries unanimous. Moving on to ordinances. Ms. Bauer, item 46, please.
Ordinance number O-24-43, an ordinance of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, authorizing the execution of an irrigation easement in favor of Salt River Project Agricultural Improvement and Power District on the north side of Orangewood Avenue from 69th Avenue to 71st Avenue, and directing the city clerk to record a certified copy of the ordinance.
Mayor, members of the council, here provide staff report this evening is Glendale Principal Engineer Jamie Chapin.
Thank you, Mr. Phelps. Good evening, Mayor and Council.
We haven't seen you for a while.
I'm glad to be back.
Go ahead.
Currently, SRP owns a very large irrigation ditch on the north side of Orangewood Avenue between 69th Avenue and 71st Avenue. The city has a project to improve the north side of Orangewood Avenue. So we have requested that SRP pipe this ditch so that to facilitate the roadway improvements, and also that they use aesthetic funds that are granted to the city every year. So they have agreed to do that. The new pipe will be located in the retention basin that lies along the north side of Orangewood Avenue that's owned by the city. So they are requesting an easement to protect the new pipe. Staff is recommending to grant SRP the easement to protect their facility and to facilitate the roadway improvements in the future. Thank you, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Seeing none, thank you. May I get a motion for item 46?
I move we adopt ordinance number O-24-43 and waive reading beyond the title.
Second.
I have a motion from Councilmember Turner, second from the Vice Mayor. To approve the recommended action, I will now conduct a roll call vote. Councilmember Baldenegro, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Clark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Melner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomachoff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Turner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. That motion is unanimous and it carries. Thank you. Okay, council comments and suggestions. Mr. Baldenegro.
None at this time, sir.
Thank you. Councilmember Clark.
None at this time, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Milner.
Yes, I just want to announce that this weekend the Granada Estates Coalition will be hosting its annual Halloween party starting at 6 p.m. on October 27th at the Greenway Granada Park. It'll be from 5:30 to 7:30. And on another note, just wanted to mention to the public so they are aware that this afternoon we held a workshop and discussed pretty in depth the downtown Velma Teague Library, and I urge you to all take a look at that and watch the video so you understand everything that's going on with that. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Tomachoff.
Yes, Mayor, I'd like to thank the residents, the HOA members, the board members, and the block watch captains that participated in game night Saturday night. And also wouldn't want to forget to thank our police department. They showed up in full force and were interacting with block watch captains, HOAs, and regular neighbors in the neighborhood. Our CAT team was out, the police department was out, some of the guys were out, the drone team were out. And actually Mayor Wire showed up at the last stop that I was at. So I just want to thank people for participating. It's a really important night to get people out in your neighborhood. You're the first line of safety in your neighborhood. So thank you to everybody who participated. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Councilmember Turner.
Nothing tonight, Mayor.
Vice Mayor.
Nothing, Mayor.
Okay, and one thing I have is if you're a veteran, if you know a veteran, please bring them to an event Saturday morning, 8 a.m. Actually, if you get there about 7:45, it's better, but that's Arizona Christian University. It's an event that I've done now. This will be the 11th year, called Stand Up for Veterans, and we try and provide about anything and everything you can imagine to help our veterans. Whether the vets believe that they need anything, maybe they think their life's perfect, just the same, they may show up to this event and find out there's something that is available for them. We don't allow anybody to sell anything. There's no money exchanged. The event is not to sell anything. It's to help our veterans and their families. So if you have the opportunity, stop by, support our veterans. If you are a veteran, come out. If you know a veteran, bring them with you. If they're elderly and can't drive very well, bring them over. Come out and see what a lot of people that care about our veterans are doing to make a difference. With that, next on the agenda are the citizens' comments. Council makes this opportunity available to citizens to bring information and business before the council that is not on our printed agenda. Before I welcome speakers to the podium, I just want to remind the audience, anyone speaking tonight, it is a public meeting. We won't tolerate profanity or threats to staff or council. So with that, please everybody keep that in mind. When you come up, state your name. I do not want your physical address, but the crossroads, if it's Glendale, if it's not Glendale, at least tell us the street you're in. So again, we'll ask Susan Johnson if she'll come up first. You have 3 minutes, ma'am.
Hi, Mayor. Thank you, Council. This is my first time ever doing this. I live from place to place, and I see things that I don't believe should be. I'm over on by the police station, 56th Avenue in Glendale-ish, and I feel that there's a lot of trees that are dead or dying or falling, and there's a lot of empty space where there could be more water, like in the landscape where there'd be more cultivation, where it would look better for downtown Glendale, because it is there's a historic Caitlin Court. There is the section where it's shop local, and there's the Velma Teague Library, and there's just a lot of things that need to be taken care of in Parks and Rec. My goal someday would be to be on the board and make a difference. I am a Johnson, and like I said earlier, I got confused. I'm trying to get documented with the princess. I have a money inheritance, and my goal first would be to pay off. I saw this. I think it's a 2.5 million for the water. That would be my goal, to come out of the trillion that Biden knows about. I can do that later. But this is very important to me. I feel that if there is more greenery, people would be more drawn to the community, and they'd be more proud. Shopping local, you have people walking. There are no water fountains. There should be more out there so that people have a chance to hydrate. As you can see my voice, I'm not a smoker. I'm very dehydrated. And there are the 211 where you can call and find the watering stations, which is the library. I know that I have a minute, 13 seconds, that all of you are very in tune with what you do, and I believe in you, and I believe in the cops, and I'm on side to help you if you ever need me.
Thank you. It looks like Mary Ellen. I can't make out the last name. Majan, okay, all right. If you would, you've got 3 minutes. Come on up. For the record, state your name and what.
I'm Mary Ellen Lejean. That's spelled L-E, capital G-E-N-D-R-E. I live at 7520 North 59th Drive,
Perfect.
Glendale, Arizona. And Bart Turner is my councilman. It's Barrow, I'm in Barrow, I guess. Anyway, I've come to talk about the Velma Tigg Library. I'm Velma's niece, and I have a written statement about behalf of Velma's family. I'm going to sit. Is that okay?
That's perfect.
Otherwise, I don't want to bleed all over your carpet.
Brent, can you help her?
Bring it way down. Thank you. Velma, can you hear me now?
We're good.
Okay.
We're good.
Velma started her library career as a volunteer, and the only way the library could be open at that time was through their volunteers. She had been a teacher and had to resign when she got married because in those days, married teachers did not work. But education was very important to her, and so she bided her time by volunteering at the library. She was eventually hired to run the library and got an actual salary. She believed it was important for women to be able to earn their own money. During the Depression, however, she found that the salary she was using her salary to buy books, to stock the library, as money was for frivolous items like books was not in the city budget. She oversaw the demolition of one library, which was a little brown building that looked a lot like the Women's Club. And they created another one that was in about, the WPA gave them money and they built a little mission, which was Darling. And then it was ultimately planned, and she was very intimately in the planning of the new library when cancer struck her down. The city, in gratitude for her tireless and devoted service to the citizens of Glendale, they named the present library for her. Velma was very proud of the library. My daughter, Randy Turk, and I both worked for her, and there was no such thing as leisure time. If business was slow, we read the shelves, we put books back in order, we carefully brought every book to the edge of the shelf, patted them in down so they were nice and neat, and magazines and newspapers were constantly arranged and straightened during the day. The library was always a beautiful and welcoming place. Her pride extended to the park surrounding the library, and she wanted it to be a tranquil and welcoming place also. Over the years, there were a few times when the city wanted to fiddle with the park, but she considered the park an extension of her library, and she fought to protect it as well. The library and the park were the heart of Glendale, which says much of the character of the community, which is at its heart. Additionally, she knew that every patron and their children, and she would recommend books. And as the children grew, are you going to college? And she kept after them.
Ms. LeJean, I'm going to have you wrap it up if you would, please.
Okay, I'll finish with this. We, Velma's family, hope the city will recognize that not everything is about the bottom line. History matters, but most of all, and this was Velma's legacy, people matter.
Thank you. Yeah. John, you're up next.
I'm John LeJean, and I'm in the Barrel District, 59th and Orangewood.
Perfect.
And in real estate, there's a saying that's location, location, location. And what they want to do is they want to move the library from the downtown to the park, which there's been a library of one sort of another for 107 years. And they want to move it over into a location which, in my opinion and others, is inferior. The parking is terrible. There's no room for handicap accessible. The handicap parking, you have to go through the parking garage and fight your way through the people coming and going. There's no handicap parking on the street. One of the things that they said, I heard earlier today, that it was going to be this wonderful intergalactic, super high-tech library in the poorest part of the city, and these kids don't have Kindle, they don't have tablets. So they're going to walk into this place, and they're going to say, what is this? And they're going to say, oh, just put your Kindle over here, and they're going to say, what's a Kindle? And they're going to say, oh, it's a new thing that you just put over here, and you're going to get the book in your Kindle. These kids like to turn the page. We went to a meeting September 19th, and there was a family, it was at 7 o'clock, and there were families we had to walk through the kids section of the library. There were parents, they were working with their kids. An hour and a half later, there were parents still working with their kids, folding the pages, looking here, looking there. They have a Heroes Library. I guess it was in 2018. They built a brand new library, they had in your hands the opportunity to make this super intergalactic high-tech library. And what they do? Oh no, let's put some shelves here, let's do this, had some books. You had an opportunity from the scratch to make a new library. What'd you do? No, we'll just do it. So anyway, what I'm getting at is once this library is out of the way, what's going to stop you from moving the amphitheater to take its place? Because it's open, and they say they're not going to, but then on the other hand, they said they're not going to move the Velma Teague Library, right? So your trust is shattered. I'm not as nice as my mom. She's a sweetheart. I'm not. Also, at this September 19th meeting, the price was $15 million. I went to the meeting with the library board. In 4 weeks, it jumped to $17 million. In 4 weeks, it went $2 million. Did you get bids on this? Did you get the lowest bidder? I don't think so. My time is up.
Thank you.
you.
Ken, I don't know how to pronounce your last name. Urobara? I'm sure I said that totally wrong.
That's fine. People have been destroying my last name from all my life, so I'm pretty used to it, man.
But pronounce it correctly for me.
Ulibarri.
I can't say that.
Say that 3 times.
Yeah. I would try, but I would make it worse. Go ahead, sir. You have 3 minutes.
It's Ulibarri. Ulibarri.
Okay.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council, for allowing me to address you guys tonight. I'd like to speak about Prop 499. I would like to encourage everybody in the city of Glendale to vote no on Prop 499. Last Sunday... I was in church service in Glendale, and my pastor spoke about Prop 499, and he said that it's going to really harm our church because of the small events that they host. And they say that they're, according to him and according to this literature that I have about 499, they're going to force churches to pay a higher minimum wage to their workers. And because churches hold small events such as symphonies and things of that nature, it's going to raise the cost, and they're going to have to refuse to hold these small events. So I would really encourage the people of Glendale to actually, and you as the council members, speak to your friends and families to vote no on Prop 499, because this is bad for Glendale. The special interest groups that are supporting it are from out of state, and it's going to be like a cancer. If it takes root here in Glendale, it's just going to spread to Peoria, to Phoenix, to, I mean, all the surrounding cities, because once they conquer Glendale, they're going to think of that as their badge of honor, and they're going to continue to push their harmful policies throughout Arizona. We have a good state here in a good city that still has common sense and decency. And when these people come from out of state pushing their ridiculous agendas with their big donors from out of state, then it harms what we have here, what makes Glendale special, what makes this place attractive, and what is luring all these people from California over here and from surrounding states. I, for the life of me, cannot understand why they flee their state and bring their policies here and vote the same way that they do. Because if they created a utopia over there, then why are they fleeing it? Don't come to our city and try to destroy it with the same policies that just wrecked yours.
Thank you. Thank you. Jessica Curry, please.
Jessica Corey, Beryl District.
Thank you.
Thank you. The city of Glendale seems to have a strange relationship with libraries. A few years ago, they wanted to sell our Foothills Library to Midwestern University. The building had the sun and moon Chihuly chandelier, magic doors, and 24 hours in the Sonoran Desert, along with all the items necessary for a library. The Library Advisory Board and the Glendale Arts Commission were able to stop that in its tracks. For 20 years, Yucca District had been promised a library at Heroes Park. The city suggested to the Library Advisory Board that we put in a book vending machine. Instead, the board knew there was developmental impact fees available that needed to be earmarked for a development by the end of the year. The conversation went from vending machine to modular building and finally to a brick and mortar building. With the council's help, we have a beautiful library that's an amenity for that district. Boards and commissions are important safeguards against a government that sometimes goes over the heads of the citizens to impose its will on those who do not know about the plans and are defenseless to stop the travesty. This is why the actions of the Community Service Director, Jean Moreno, have been particularly upsetting. On September 19th, under the guise of planning programming for the Velma Teague Library, she presented a plan for the destruction of the building that has been one of the 3 libraries that has graced Murphy Park for 107 years. She got 0 report for the idea from the members of the community. On October 9th, she broke the open meeting law by presenting the same information to the Library Advisory Board without it being on the agenda. The stunned board had not been given the information packet until they arrived that night. At the conclusion, Ms. Moreno demanded 3 times that a motion be made to accept the staff recommendation that the library be moved to a strip mall on Palmyra. A complaint has been filed with the Arizona Attorney General's office. There was no mention that the board had any possibility of postponing the vote. In the heart of Murphy Park, we have a lovely full-service, welcoming library. The size is perfect for the residents, students, teachers, business owners, and visitors from around the world. It's an economic engine for the surrounding businesses. I encourage City Council members to spend an enjoyable hour or so visiting the staff and users. But don't come at night. For some reason, that stretch of 58th Avenue has no street lights. The community should have input in the plans for Murphy Park. Martha Dennis, Marty Cole, and I walked through the park with Tabitha Perry and identified historical items that will be returned to the park. We expect that the citizens will be invited to review plans and give input while the renovation is in the beginning stages. Thank you.
Thank you. Bernadette Bologna. Okay, I'm going to ask you folks, please, no applause. Bernadette, are you here? And when you come up, just say your last name. I don't want to mispronounce it.
Hi, Bernadette Bolognini.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. And I'm Barrow District, 50.
No, we don't need your address. That's
Okay,
fine.
okay.
Thank you.
All right. So I am a 30-plus year resident.
Okay,
of
ma'am,
downtown-
I'm going to pull your microphone in front of your mouth.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. I am a 30-plus year resident of downtown Glendale, living in Sands Estates, and a frequent user of the Velma Teague Library. I was dismayed and upset to think that the city is considering demolishing and moving the library to the strip mall on Palmyra. I really think this is deja vu. In 2015, we successfully saved the Foothill Library from the clutches of predatory entrepreneurs. Here we are again looking for transparency from the city. This time might even be worse than in 2015, as the citizens in the Library Advisory Board were misled on October 9th when we were invited for a workshop with the Community Services Director. Instead of just showing and recommending what the city of Glendale would like, the board was asked to vote on the recommendation of moving the library. They voted to approve the move without hearing from the residents. At least with Foothills, we citizens were allowed to voice our concerns before the board had to vote. Not this time. The citizens that did attend had no opportunity to express their concerns. The Library Advisory Board and Glendale citizens deserve another meeting where citizens may express their concerns and the board can hear them and vote. I know this library is the third library to reside in Murphy Park. Its history is truly one that the city can take great pride in. A true American story when you think how the longest employed librarian at the time, Velma Teague, helped with the design of a better and bigger library for the city, and eventually having the library named after her. The library, a freestanding building in the center of Murphy Park, has been a vital part of the downtown area since its inception. I know when you visit it, you see all the community activities taking place here. The library is so innovative and important to the history and citizens of Glendale. It truly acts as a center, a community center. Just the historical aspect of keeping it in Murphy Park should make you stop and consider what the city is losing. We have so few places of historical significance in the downtown area. You should want to spend the money to refurbish and treasure it. Actually, you should point to it with a sense of pride. The city of Glendale, to its credit, has offered a vital cultural hub to its citizens for so many years. And once it's refurbished, many vital years to come. We all should be saying Thank you, Velma Teague Library, for being such a great neighbor. Keep Velma Teague Library. Thank you.
Thank you. Cheryl Kappas.
Good afternoon, or is it evening already? My name is Cheryl Kappas, and I've lived and worked in the city of Glendale for the majority of my adult life. Never thought when I retired that I'd be owning and operating a business, but by 2007 I was down here and well, let's say it's the historic charm that won me over. I mean, we have something very special here that you do not find in the other cities. Tonight the subject is the Velma Teague Library. I am not a dissident, like we were called in the meeting today. I think the better word is concerned citizen. My concern, I got a few to list for you. I think the numbers presented as quotes for the options seemed a little high. I don't know where the numbers come from, but I did call a local contractor and I said, how much for you to build me a new building today? I want this many square feet. And you know, he said that the going rate that he's actually kind of allowed to charge the city is 125 a square foot. You know, if we added a lot of fluff, that's about $2.5 million. So let's see, $2.5 million to build a building. I don't know, let's throw another 3 on to fill it up with. I just don't know where these numbers come from. So, you know, it's kind of like what I remember a few years back, asking about the numbers. I just, maybe we should work with these local contractors. I could help you find them if you need them. But for the library, I just see this as yet another historical marker in downtown Glendale on the chopping block. And as I love history, I did pick up a few other points from the meeting today. The city manager's been working on this plan since last spring. I don't know, maybe. The Library Commission was blindsided, asked to vote on a subject that they've been given no prior notice on. The only reasonable option, we had to throw the numbers at them and say, this is the least costly option, so that must be the right answer. It's too expensive to keep up with the historic. I think we had these talks about some other historic properties around here. It's not always the right thing to do if you're talking about historic. Once it's gone, it's gone. And we have a beautiful historic charm down here. I just don't think everything should fall back into, I want to call it bulldoze it and make it all new again. But the one thing they said also in the meeting today, let's move it to the promenade. Well, that is an empty city building. Got you that. We moved a lot of things around for the empty city building. And so I think they could maybe use that as temporary location. How about a temporary location while we reevaluate the other items?
Yeah, go ahead and wrap
but
it up.
they did say that they were going to turn the park back into an open space, so that's a good idea. But, you know, I've heard those stories before, and I can't help but wonder if there won't be another thing in the mail real soon, unsolicited offer, best deal, we need to take this new building and put it in the park.
I need you to wrap it up, Cheryl.
Well, you know, and I do want to tell you, I appreciate you saying that, but I just want you to know the other reason why I care about that building, you know, from 1918 to 1922, it was that Glendale Women's Club who ran that little tiny building in the park as the official library before the city took over. So this is history, it's a historical marker, and it should not be bulldozed. It should be rebuilt, it should be refurbished, it should be fixed, but we should preserve our history.
Thank you. Marty Cole.
Marty Cole, Barrel District. I'm here today to object to moving the library from Murphy Park. I realize the current library is not a historical building. That doesn't matter. What matters is having the library in Murphy Park. I was born and raised in Glendale and have lived here the majority of my life. I came to the library in the park when I was small, and after walking a long way on the hot sidewalk, it was a relief to reach the grass in the park before going into the library. I also brought my children to the library in Murphy Park. It has always been a nice place to sit and relax and enjoy the park while making a visit to the library. I was at the library board meeting where they made a recommendation to move the library to the promenade. One board member was new and had no idea where the promenade was located. From the discussion, it appeared several other members had no idea where the promenade is. I was absolutely floored with the tactics the city's representative went to get those board members to vote the way she wanted them to. A motion was made to not make a recommendation, but was not seconded. After calling for a vote 3 times for the board to make a recommendation to move the library to the promenade, a member did just that. The motion passed 6-1. Later, we found out one member had not voted, but his vote was counted as a yes anyway. Supposedly, Glendale is a city that works with and for the residents' interest in mind. I do not think that is the policy of the current governing body. They need to inform and listen to what the people are telling them. Leave the library in Murphy Park. Thank you.
Thank you. Kathy Gurry?
Kathy Hoynes-Goray,
Gurry, okay.
Ocotillo District.
Thank you.
Mayor, council members, in addition to being a proud Glendale resident, I am proud to be, in the words of a council member in yet another post on Nextdoor, a dissident. If being a dissident means I am tired of being lied to by city council, by the mayor, and the city manager as to whether Velma Teague Library and Murphy Park will not be touched, and then their narrative changes, then I am a dissident. If finding the words of a council member calling the views and opinions of the citizens of Glendale cockamamie and to be trivialized and looked down upon because they do not fall in line with the views of a council member, then I am a dissident. If questioning that I am first told that City Hall is going to be updated and the exterior skim-coated, when in reality it has been stripped to a shell, being rebuilt practically from scratch at escalating costs, and then sitting through today's workshop to learn that the City Council feels Velma Teague Library is not worthy of the same treatment, then I am a dissident. Council members feel that the new option of relocating the library to storefronts on Palmera is the best option because it was never available previously. I wonder if this means that those same people coming across someone who was suddenly available would toss aside their current partners and take advantage of the new option. And to the Ocotillo council member who was appointed by the city council and voluntarily put his name forward for the position, your district is far larger than the street where you live. Your job is to know the residents of the entire district you serve, what happened to them and what is happening to them. That you use phrases like, I just got here, and make a statement in the newspaper that you are learning the council member lifestyle insults the community you took an oath to serve. Lastly, I am the dissident who created the online petition and assisted in creating the hard copy petition, which to date has just under 900 unique signatures, all of whom feel the Velma Teague Library should remain in Murphy Park and be refurbished and updated. These signatures are located in the 85301, 85302, and 85303 zip codes. Thank you.
Bud Zomot.
Mayor, my name is Bud Zomak. I live in the Ocotillo District. I attended a presentation with Councilmember Clark, where Councilmember Clark, you shared a great story about a group of citizens wearing green shirts that said Save Heroes Park. and you praised that group. There was a group of downtown merchants who wore green shirts that said Save Murphy Park, and they were called crazies, and now we're called dissidents. Councilmember Malnar and Councilmember Clark, thank you for your concerns about providing more green space for the citizens of Glendale. I wish you would have shown just the same concern when you voted to remove 45 acres of green space from the Glendale Lakes Golf Course. Councilmember Maldar and Councilmember Baldenegro, thank you for your concerns about prudent spending of taxpayers' monies for the library. Councilmember Malnar, perhaps you could have had the same concerns as you voted to approve an additional $6.1 million in June for City Hall renovations. Councilmember Hugh, Councilmember Clark, Baldenegro, Councilmember Malnar, and Mayor, thank you for your concerns for kids and for the next generation and the safety. But I think moving a library less than 50 feet from a road that each time the train crosses Grand Avenue becomes the new Glendale Avenue, I invite you to come and watch how fast the cars move down Palmer Avenue. I pray that none of your legacy is a child running out the front door of Palmer and being struck by a car that's on a much too heavily traveled roadway, rather than having a park that provides more than 3 times the buffer cushion for those same children. Councilmember Baldenegro, thank you for your concerns that the kids in the area have the opportunity for a new experience and a new technology in a much quicker manner. To use a coaching experience metaphor, today it feels to me like you traded your team for a new football, the technology, rather than hold on a little bit and maybe get the whole field, which would have been the technology and the library and the park. My concern is not for the library building, but rather for the long history the library has by being situated in the park. We all get to pick and we all get to choose what we do. And today you chose to do what was easy and what was cheap for this disadvantaged area, rather than doing what was right. Thank you.
Rory.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, council members, Rory Gore, Ocotillo District. As some of you who've been on the council for a while, you know I served the state for 10.5 years on the Arizona Racing Commission. And there was 2 things I always loved as part of my job. One was going out to all the farms, the various tracks, and talking to the people out there, and then also call to the public. It was really disturbing today during this morning's workshop to hear the ridicule coming from some of you against the voices, the people who are the ones who elected you. Councilmember Tomachov, I want to thank you for being the voice of reason today. Councilmember from Ocotillo, she gave you a way to save face today. You dropped the ball. Instead, you filibustered with your answers. I have never heard such word salads in my life. My God, listen to the people. Do you want to come out and look at the 900 people who voted, who have said, do not move it? Look them in the eye and say, people, your voice doesn't matter to me. Learn to do your job. Stop learning to try to live the council member lifestyle. Thank you.
Julia Taggart.
Hi, is this on? Okay. No, I live in Phoenix. So I do a lot of historic preservation all over Phoenix.
Okay, state your name, please.
Julia Taggart.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm the youngest museum president in the state, in the country right now at 25. I was 24 when I got it for the Sunny Slope Historical Society. Whenever there's a building that's about to be demolished, I get a lot of messages about, Julia, what's going on, whether it's Gilbert or Glendale or Tucson or Phoenix. I came here to talk about the Velma Teague Library because I want to warn you guys, because Phoenix has cannibalized itself so much. You guys have a beautiful historic district. I got to see it earlier today when I got to see the library and all the tiny shops. In Phoenix, we have Heritage Square, and all we have are skyscrapers all over. If you ask anybody about the Phoenix Art Deco Theater, which was, I think, the Fox, that's now a Fry's, and people will cry to you because that got demolished to be a bus stop that was in a piece of land for decades and decades. In Phoenix, we've lost so much history. I see this happening all over the state of Arizona, not just with you guys, as we are trying to grow with the development we're getting from California and other states. Gilbert, their second oldest building, will be demolished. They didn't get a chance to get enough funds to move it to their museum, so that's going to be gone. Their second oldest building, which they were trying to save so the generation of Gilbert can, you know, look and see what it was like to live back in 1918 in Gilbert, that will be gone. I see buildings get demolished all the time. I'm still working to save Mystery Castle in Phoenix, and that's a harder building than this. Your building's in good condition. Mystery Castle, you step on the stairs, you fall through the stairs. And those have a lot higher budgets than this. I understand that, you know, you guys want a better library for the kids and you want to think about the future for the kids, which I think is great. I understand that. But there are other solutions for this building. You could do an art gallery. You could do, like you said, different types of spaces for people who want to learn how to do business. It could be a visitor center. There's so many more possibilities. You're never going to have a space that's 107 years old that has had 3 different libraries in it. And I've done projects with Scottsdale where they didn't know who actually helped do the library for Scottsdale. They didn't know the women's name or the women's club. I reached out and someone told me, yeah, my mother started that, you know, 60 years ago, and they never got recognition. And I can see that happening for Velma down the line where nobody knows her name anymore. You might have a plaque and the new library, but people won't know her story. And people need to know the stories and the history, especially of Glendale, of Phoenix, of Arizona, all over. So I'm asking you guys to reconsider what that space can be. I think it would be great for you guys to have an art gallery. You're so lucky to have a historical society. Phoenix, one of the largest cities in the country, doesn't have a historical society. That closed in 2009. We don't even have a museum. We have nothing. You guys have a museum, a historical society. You have people coming out here to speak. I know I only have 8 seconds left, but thank you to everybody who came out to speak. Thank you guys for doing this meeting. I know everybody wants to go home and go to bed. This is the latest city council meeting I've ever been to, and I appreciate you listening to all of us. Thank you.
Thank you. Helena Bodine?
Greetings, Mayor, Council. My name is Helena Johnson Bodine. I live in the Cholla District. Tonight, I'm here to share my appreciation for the Glendale Police Department and the Community Action Team, Officer William Esch, Barbara Garcia, Commander Scott Waite, and also our council member Lauren Tomachoff's dedicated commitment and involvement in my neighborhood. As the HOA president of Arrowhead Ranch Phase 2, I believe it is very important to build good relationships with our police and fire departments, city council and staff, as well as our surrounding neighborhoods. Over the past several years, and currently, 10 Arrowhead HOA presidents have been meeting on a monthly basis to discuss topics and challenges that impact our associations. Councilmember Tomachoff and the Foothills CAT team have been actively involved with all of us to get results on our shared Arrowhead issues. One of our shared concerns has been trespassing with fishing and loitering at our lakes. The Foothills CAT team has been incredibly supportive, working with us on this ongoing challenge. Almost 2 years ago, the CAT team did not hesitate to assist me with setting up a successful blanket trespassing program and educating my community to help prevent this problem, and we have experienced a significant drop in trespassing about a year into the program. With that said, there's still been room for improvement, as there hasn't been a clear policy for officers and dispatch regarding this issue in the Arrowhead area. Councilmember Tomachoff brought forward an idea to our police department, who then worked to draft a more streamlined, consistent plan that was recently presented by Commander Waite and Kat to all of the Arrowhead presidents. And we thank you for your diligent involvement. I also want to share that I hosted my first Game Night, Getting Arizona Involved in Neighborhoods event on Saturday. This is a fantastic program that creates a sense of community and also provides education for residents regarding safety. Thank you to the CAT team, Councilmember Tomachoff, and Commander Waite for participating in our event. And thank you, Mayor Wires, for including our event in your Game Night stops for the evening. It was truly a memorable night for my family and my neighbors. In closing, Glendale has a remarkable police department and community action team that goes above and beyond compared to other cities. I am honored to work with this team and my council member, and I am proud to be a Glendale resident. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Divler.
Hi, my name is James Dibler. I live in Phoenix, Arizona. Today I'm speaking to you regarding a few good comments. I want to say thank you to Glendale Mayor Jerry Waters for coming to St. Helens Roman Catholic Parish 50th anniversary celebration. This event will reflect on the history on this great church. We have a great time celebrating this anniversary with your presence. This is a very good event. This church will reflect on the history of Jesus Christ. Thank you for taking that time to consider this matter.
Thank you. Okay, there being no other business before this council, I'd like to thank everyone for coming. Have a great night. Drive home safely. Thank you.